You are now listening to Talk Yo Jits Podcast.
Welcome back to the Talk Yo Jits Podcast. This podcast is, as its name implies, all about Jiu-Jitsu. I am your host, Lamar Smith, and today's guest is a purple belt who trains at 10th Planet Mission Viejo, located in Mission Viejo, California. Ladies and gentlemen, Jay Raman.
Hey, what's up, Lamar? Thanks for
What's
having
going
me
on, sir? Not a problem, man. The pleasure is all mine. How are you doing this evening?
Pretty good. Had a little pizza night before coming on here, and it was well deserved, I think.
Man, I've been craving pizza too, man. But
Yeah,
trying to be
it's
trying
so
to be
good.
trying to be good, trying to be good. But
Yeah,
I'm about to break.
you gotta treat yourself.
Got to. But man, let's get the ball rolling. If you want to formally introduce yourself again, by all means, and let's hear about your jiu-jitsu journey.
Yeah, so I'm Jay Raman. I'm a purple belt out of 10th Planet Mission Viejo. I got into martial arts at a very young age. I was like maybe 5 years old when my dad started teaching me some Shotokan in the garage. And he was also a big fan of Steven Seagal. So um, when I was 7, he signed me up for Aikido. And yeah, I guess he thought that I was gonna become like some chef and like start snapping people's necks or something, but that didn't happen. Um, when I was 11, I joined this Koga ninjutsu school, and like it's exactly what you imagine it would be. Like it's full on the type of stuff that you would see in like McDojo life.
Oh no.
But it's like, like as a kid, you're like, oh hell yeah, I'm gonna be a ninja. And then in high school, I didn't do too well, so I got into this like continuation program to make up some of the credits, and we had independent study PE. So for our PE, I signed up for I was looking for Muay Thai, but I found Taekwondo, and it was cool. Like I did it for a few years, and I won a few local tournaments, and I was even thinking like, could I like try to make it to the Olympics? But like registration fees are really expensive, and my parents didn't have much money, so I was like, nah, I'll just not worry about that. In 2008, I I got together with some of my old Taekwondo friends who also had like some wrestling friends, and we started like a little fight club in like our school, and like I didn't know anything, right? Like I just knew how to kick people in the head, and like that's where I learned my first arm bar, and I was like, oh, this is cool. Like I want to learn how to do this. I signed up at like the local Gracie Baja, and my second week we were working jumping guard, and yeah, my partner missed my hip and landed on my knee, and it was like my second week.
Oh no.
So yeah, I had to take a little bit of a break there, and like I think that's when all my injuries started. So yeah, like I took a little bit of a break. I moved up to where I live now. I'm in Orange County, and like I didn't even think about like doing like martial arts or anything anymore. But I was gaining a lot of weight, and my neighbor invited me over to watch UFC. I remember it was Rampage versus Machida, and like all these dudes were ripped, and I was like, I want to get ripped.
I know,
So
right?
yeah, like I want like abs, like especially like Machida. He was freaking jacked, and so I looked it up, and Mark Munoz, the Filipino wrecking machine, actually had a gym in Lake Forest, and I signed up there, trained under like a few different people, and was in the room with like people like Cub Swanson and like who else? Like Bisping was in there too a few times.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but our coach was Marcel Lozado, who I think is like a 5th degree black belt or something. I don't know, some like world champ, right?
Mm-hmm.
And and then there was also Jason Manley, who is a Cesar Gracie black belt. He's like buddies with like the Diaz brothers, and then Casey Housestead. I floated around like a few different gyms because like places closed down. Um, I was underemployed or unemployed a few times because as much as anyone's gonna say jujitsu's worth it, like it's not cheap, you know.
Nah.
Like, yeah. So I mean, there's always people like, oh, like give up drinking at a bar and you'll be able to afford it. It's like, how much do you think people drink? Right. So I mean,
I know, right?
yeah, like yeah, me skipping out on a few beers. I mean, I guess it will help a little bit, but yeah, I don't drink that much anyway. So yeah, so I floated around and ended up with 10th Planet where I'm at right now, and it's awesome.
Cool. So, I think they just opened up a 10th Planet school here in Michigan. But yeah,
Yeah,
I'm starting to see those like 10th Planet schools pop up a lot now.
yeah. I think there's a lot of like with people like Gordon Ryan and like all those other guys. Like I see Nogi as like kind of blowing up, and then like 10th Planet is mainly Nogi.
Hmm. Yeah. And I gotta admit, I'm getting addicted to Nogi.
Yeah,
Like I'm really getting addicted to it. Like I don't know, one day I was just randomly like, you know what? I just want to start training Nogi. So we start our open mats are just Nogi, and it's just like, yep. I love our open mats now.
yeah, especially right now, right? Because like it's getting warm. I don't know
Mhm.
how hot it is where you are, but like we were in like the high 80s, low 90s right now, and like I can't even. I did have to wear a gi yesterday because we have like the kids class, and I started helping out with them,
Mhm.
and it was like being in a sauna
Yeah.
the whole time, so it felt gross.
Yeah. Usually our instructor will have the air off on days like this. So so what you need the air for? I'm like, it's hot. Just focus on your technique. So, we roll we roll and no matter what weather, it's gonna be hot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love it, man. So you train at 10th Planet. This is where you've been like I assume majority of your like journey in jiu-jitsu.
Um, this is where I've been for the last 2.5 years. I also trained, like I was at Rain for maybe like 9 years, and so I've been at it for this is going on my 13th year.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so that shows how good of a purple belt I am. So yeah.
But like I hear stories about people who've been like a certain rank for like obviously like twice as long and then you supposed to be like how like when you tell people that, do you feel a certain type of way? Like, if I'm telling someone I've been doing, jujitsu for 10 plus years, I'm only a XYZ belt. Like I see a lot of people be sometimes hesitant to tell.
Yeah, like I think I used to be like self-conscious about like how long I spent at each belt. Like I was a white belt for 9 years, and like there's a lot of factors there. Like maybe maybe the instructor is just really picky on promotions, or maybe the school itself just doesn't really like focus on any promotions or anything like that. So I think I used to like try to use that as a disclaimer, like, oh, I'm a white belt, but I trained for 9 years, type of thing,
Mhm.
just to make myself feel better. But now it's like I actually like being a lower rank compared to like the years that I've been practicing and training, um,
Mhm.
because I'd much rather people think that that like I'm bad, but then I'm actually a lot better, like surprise.
Like he's sandbagging.
So
No, but that's cool, man. I mean, because I get it. I used to think about that too. Like when I used to hear people like, "Yeah, man, I've been at this certain rank for X amount of years," and I never really taken into consideration like, okay, did they stop? Did they do this and do that? But sometimes you do hear stories about people who've been training consistently for like 6 or 7 years and still like blue belts or whatnot. So I don't know, man. It's just, but like you said, it depends on the school. It depends on, I mean, it's a lot of factors that comes into it.
yeah,
So
and
now
like
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
if like they're still training, I mean that's the most important thing, like just keep at it.
Yeah, true. I mean, just keep at it. Like, I always like to reinforce about like the quote unquote belt, because Chris Harder said it best. Like, the belt only covers 2% of your ass. You got to
Mhm.
cover the rest. So,
Yeah.
you know, a belt doesn't necessarily mean nothing. Like like you said, you can be a purple belt that's been rolling for God knows how long versus a purple belt who's a hobbyist, and that's two different levels. You know, so yeah, like as long as you're consistently training, man, as they say, the colors will change, the belts will change, and stuff like that. But as long as you're learning, that should be the main focal point, I think, when it comes to jujitsu.
Yeah, and then with no gi, we don't even wear our belts, so it's like you could roll with someone and you think that they're completely legit, and um, this isn't saying that they're not, but like then you find out, oh, this person's a white belt, like that's kind of eye opening in a way.
Yeah, and that's the fun part about it. Like a while, not that long ago, I went to visit another school and they had their no gi competition class. And so you walk in, obviously no one has on their belts, and you're not about to be walking around like, hey, what belt are you? What belt are you? What belt are you? So it was like 14, like 14 people on the mats. I don't know nobody's belt rank. And I'm just, just rolling, rolling, and rolling with people. And I'm just trying to figure out, like, okay, this guy got to be an XYZ, and this guy got to be an XYZ. And I was wrong like 90% of the time.
Yeah.
So I was like,
Like,
man, you got to be purple. He's like, nah, man, I'm a three-stripe white belt. I'm like, moving like that? Oh, I used to wrestle a lot in high school or something like that. So it was like, okay, that makes sense.
yeah.
Yeah, that's fun. I think that's fun. When you get to roll with people that obviously know gi, so you don't know their belt rank. So
Yeah. And like
that's
going to open mats is so much fun because like you go there and like you said, like you go in there and like you don't know anyone there. So you really don't know like what people know. And I
right.
just realized how many times I said no. And
Well, no, but well, yeah, like I said, I like the mysteriousness of it, of going, visiting different schools and, you know, uh, not knowing no one's rank, because it kind of takes the pressure off of wanting to roll, because you walk into a school, if you see 3, 4, 5 black belts or upper rank people, you're going to try to avoid them. You're going to try to like not make eye contact and stuff like that, and you can miss out on some good opportunities right there. Good
yeah.
opportunities to
Like
learn.
And it's not so much that like, oh, I don't want to get my ass beat by this black belt or anything. It's just like, am I gonna be a challenge for this person? Or I get kind of self-conscious about that.
Yeah. Like, am I gonna get destroyed by this person? Now, obviously, I know 10th Planet is a huge competition school. So do you compete yourself?
I started competing again. So before I maybe competed once each rank. Um, so yeah, that would be my third competition this last July 1st. And I don't compete a lot, and I don't really have like these aspirations to be like some kind of world champion. Actually,
Hmm.
like I think what would be cool is if like I started coaching people to become world champions. That would be cool.
You're like my one of my training partners. He's that same way. Like, he
Yeah,
doesn't care about competing, but he's like, I'll coach and help somebody train and become a world champion. So I mean,
yeah,
that's pretty dope. I mean, you're in the right ballpark because you're helping with kids class now. So
yeah.
that's just
Like,
that's just the tip of it.
and I told my coach like the thing that I want to do is to become a good coach, and he's been taking steps like um, he had me fill in for a few classes. He had me run the open mat, which I mean, I those are like kind of small things to some people, but like just having that trust like means a lot to me. And like now that I get to help out the kids class regularly, I mean, I it sounds nerdy, but like I mean, how much of us are like jujitsu nerds, you know? Like I love jujitsu so much that I want to like share it with like as many people as I can. And
Hmm.
like for me, that's just the coolest thing.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Because I teach our kids class too, so I know that feeling of wanting to give that information back. But but like with you stepping into that like teaching role, like how was it for you when you taught your first like kids class versus your first adults class?
Well, the kids class, I was more like kind of being the assistant coach,
Hmm.
and like I didn't know what I was doing because there's these little human beings, and it's like, okay, so this is how you do a head and arm choke, and like I'm gonna do that to a 5-year-old. like like I mean, I don't know if you could tell, but like I'm an ultra heavyweight, and so yeah, like it's gonna be a little silly. But like with adults, it's like I don't know, like come over here, like I'm gonna show you this head and arm choke, and like that's perfectly fine. But now I have this challenge. It's like this person is like so much smaller than I am. I can't just demonstrate the technique on them. I have to like really think about how to explain it, which makes it cool because like then like that's another layer of me knowing the technique.
Hmm. Yeah, exactly. And that's the key right there, man. Because when you like a lot of people that I've talked to on and off the podcast that was talking about teaching or wanting to get into teaching, I always say start with kids class. Kids class is the best teacher to become a teacher
Yeah,
because like you said, you have to take a technique, you have to break it down as simple as possible enough for them to learn it, and in turn you find out like you figure out more details about a technique more than you realize because you have to like take it and like chop it down so far where it's like, oh dang, I didn't think about adding this little thing here or add this thing or changing this. So
yeah.
I get more nervous teaching adult class than I do kids class.
Why do you think
I don't
that? No.
I don't know because I think it's because like with me, I've been at my same school for the past 6 years. So everyone there, I guess you want to say I grew up with in jujitsu. So it's going from like you all guys working together to you becoming like a manager. And it's like you want to be taken serious as an instructor, but at the same time, you're more so like, but you're like still in cahoots with in cahoots with everybody. So it's like, man, what do I teach these guys? Or be like, are they gonna take me serious enough as a teacher? Or it's like, yeah, like you said, like I have no idea what to teach, and you got everybody, like you got a class full of people just standing around, just staring at you, and you're like, yeah, we're gonna go over, blah blah blah, and then you hoping no one asks a question.
It's like, you guys got it. Let's just do the clap.
Right? Everybody got it. Oh, I got a question. It's always the one like, what? Like, can you do it again? Oh, man, come on, dude. But yeah, but like with kids class, like I said, you get to break it down. You get to you be more open and free, and like not as serious as it would be if you were doing like an adult class.
Yeah,
that's what I think. Because as you see, I'm a goofy person. So like I like to have fun. I like to keep it interesting for the kids if we can get past warm ups because they so slow. But
you guys do like little games. Like we had this this game called Ride the Bull where like the kids get like back mount and then they just have to try to like hold on for like 10 seconds.
I could do that, but I have an issue. One of the kids in our kids class is about my size. So no.
Man, that kid eats
vegetables. So it's like, which is cool because like I have like my daughter, one of my training partners' son. They're small, and then like I said, the other kid is my size. So it's like I get to show them how to do the technique, but he get to do the technique on me because I don't want him like choking or arm barring to like the smaller kids. But yeah, I haven't done that.
All right,
might have to do that.
Yeah, I think you like fun. I heard in one of your previous podcast episodes that you have 2 daughters.
Yeah, I have a 7-year-old and I have a 3-year-old.
Are you gonna get both of them into jiu-jitsu? Like, I mean, you kind of have to, right? Like,
yeah, I kind of have to.
Anyone that trains is like, yeah, I'm gonna put them in a little gi.
Yeah, I mean, because I got my oldest daughter started, and my youngest daughter, she's like I said, she's 3, but she does have like high function autism. So, trying to get her to focus enough to want to, to actually want to do it. And ironically, one of the guys I did an interview with, he's got this cool this gi for kids who has autism. It has like different shapes and colors on it. Mm-hmm. So it's like, like a brown patch on the elbow or blue patch on the lapel. So it actually teaches them where to grab, but also makes it a little bit fun because it's almost like a game. So I was like, oh man, that is pretty dope. So, he's like, yeah, I'm gonna send you one. So I'm like, yes.
Dude, I love that. Like, I love making jiu-jitsu more accessible to people. Like on Instagram, I follow this woman. I think she's deaf and then partially blind, and like she has like daily signs, so she'll go through sign language that's jiu-jitsu related, and like seeing things like that, like I see it's making jiu-jitsu accessible for more people. Like everybody deserves the opportunity to like train, mm-hmm. And like it's sad if there's like an obstacle that prevents them from doing that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And it's like I can't remember the guy's name, but I seen this post on Facebook and Instagram because I think he's in one of a few groups I'm in, but he's blind and he just got his black belt. And that's just like what I love about jiu-jitsu so much is because, there is no limitations. I feel like when it comes to jiu-jitsu, like you're saying with the lady who's, partially blind and deaf, it's like if I can get a hold of you, I can pretty much figure the rest out,
Yeah. Do you ever get like poked in the eye and then like you finish the round with your eyes closed?
Honestly, I've never got poked in the eye. Sweat, yes, but never got poked in the eye. But that was one of the things that our instructor kind of like got us to do early on in jiu-jitsu is close our eyes. So it's like, if you focus on the feelings and movement of your opponent, it will open up your jiu-jitsu a whole lot more because your eyes can deceive you. You can think you can look at them and think they're going one way, and then you react to that, and then next thing you're in a bad position. So we would do classes where we would just close our eyes and just it'd be quiet. Like you don't hear no one's coaching. You just like eyes closed and we're just rolling. And it's just been, like I said, a part of our game for so long where I don't look everywhere else but where I'm rolling.
Sometimes I'm watching people watching the class.
Pretty much, like I'll be in the middle of a roll and I'll be fighting grips and be like, "Hey, fix that," blah blah blah, and just looking everywhere else, or just like my wife will come and ask me a question. I'll be like, in the middle of technique, still like talking to her, and they'd be like, "Dude, why do you do this?" I'm like, "Why not?" Like learn the technique and you'll be able to do it. So I know you said you're married and stuff, right? Do your wife or your kids, do they train?
No, so I don't have any kids yet, and my wife's like, I don't know how I should feel about you rolling around with a bunch of other sweaty men, and she teases me about that, and she's not really into like that close physical contact with strangers, but I keep going, hey, you want to try it? and she's just like, no, that's your thing. So that's cool.
It's cool, but I like my wife was like that too. Like
Does she train?
before, yeah, she trains now. She trains now. So like when we started, that's how she was. She was like she want to try it, but she's not comfortable with the idea of obviously someone else in compromising positions, as we should say. So
Yeah.
it took her a while to like get used to rolling with everybody else. Like it just became like recent that she started to like work techniques with other people. So it took her a while. It took her a good couple years of being like, because she used to be like, if I'm not able to rep with her, she's not doing the technique. So
All
it's
right.
like, and it would be like almost a hindrance to her because I'm an instructor or being an assistant instructor majority of the time. So it's like I'll be trying to get work with her a little bit, and then I was like, hey, Lamar, can you come over here and help? And like, all right, let me do this with her real quick, and then go bounce somewhere else. So it kind of like became very stagnant. So we just had a conversation like, hey, I know you don't feel comfortable, but you kind of have to fight it a little bit. So I'm like, you don't have to just do it with everybody. If you just pick and choose the people you're extremely comfortable with to work these positions, by all means. And once I said that, it's like slowly but surely she started to change, and now like I can actually teach class, and she can rep with the people that she wants to rep with and be good to go.
Yeah. It's crazy how jiu-jitsu does that, right? Like, I mean, so I have social anxiety disorder, and like, so if I go into class, like I don't really talk to a lot of people, but then as soon as I roll with them or like partner up with them for drilling or something, then you're kind of like forced into talking, and like, or you could just drill in awkward silence, and that's super awkward.
Yeah, that's not weird at all.
Yeah, so like I found that like jujitsu helped me so much with like social skills too, because like I I don't I don't really talk to a lot of people, so like, and Yeah.
Oh, dude, trust me, man. I know. Like I'm used to talking to, I guess you want to say like, friends, close relatives, or whatever. But out in public spaces or just talking to a group of people that not happening.
Yeah.
And then it's like, hey, you got like, social anxiety and whatever. Why don't you start a podcast where you have to talk to strangers? That's a good idea. So,
Yeah, right. Yeah.
so it's like, all right, so let's get this popping. But yeah, man, if it wasn't for jujitsu, yeah, I wouldn't have. I guess you want to say be as social as I am now if I didn't start.
Yeah, and like you roll with someone and you instantly become best friends. There's like, I think that's one of my favorite things about jujitsu too, is like the camaraderie that comes with it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
like that camaraderie has helped me so much with like even just like my mental health. Like I was pretty down with like depression and anxiety, and like um I was just like angry all the time. And then I go to a jujitsu class and I'm in there with people that are all working towards the same goal of getting better and like being in a loving environment. Like that that helped me so much. And like that's why I think that's why I want to like spread jujitsu a lot more than like just the people that are around me, you know?
Yeah, man, I can't agree more, dude. Like, I've had a lot of dark moments, and I've talked about them before. Even when I started this podcast, like that's one of the first things I talked about. And there's been moments where it's like, dude, if I did not have training, if I didn't have jujitsu, yeah, it'd have been bad. It'd have been very, very bad. But like, yeah, like you said, that camaraderie, that love, that support, that everything you get from walking in that class, or even people that you have ever never met before, and you say, "Hey, I do jujitsu." Oh, I do jujitsu too. You just met a
Yeah.
brother or a
Yeah,
sister
you
in
see someone in a show yo roll shirt or something and you're like, hey, it's
like, oh yeah, I know that stuff you do. Because like
we
I
just
met
become best friends.
right. I can't tell you how many people that I've seen. I will be walking somewhere and I have on like a jujitsu T-shirt or whatever, and someone will be like, "Oh, you do jujitsu?" I'm like, "Yeah, I do jujitsu." "Oh yeah, man, I train at blah blah blah," and we're just chopping it up like we've like high school friends that just haven't seen each other in like 10 years.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. I always say I love this community because even just this is as an example. I've done close to 80 something episodes, and majority of these people, including you, I've never met before. I just was on Facebook and Instagram and now Reddit. It was like, hey, anybody want to be on the Jiu-Jitsu podcast? And
And I was
just
like, yes.
But yeah, man, the love and support that I've seen in jujitsu, man, I have never seen this anywhere else.
Yeah.
And I've always been curious to know if this type of love and camaraderie is like this in any other sport. But I
Yeah.
don't know.
I don't know. Like, I mean, in the other sports that I've tried, like I never really felt like there's a team there.
Mhm.
But with jujitsu, even though it's like it's technically an individual sport, like it it's a team.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a team, it's a bond, it's a family, it's all the other good stuff and whatnot. So yeah, man. I like I said, I love the sport. I say this a lot. I love the sport. I love where it's going. I love where it's been. I love where it's taking me, and I can't imagine not doing like jujitsu at all.
Yeah.
Like, without a doubt. Like I it's because it's funny because like no matter there's been everyone been in these moments where they have these conversations with themselves like, man, what am I doing? Like, why am I get up every day or every other day and I go to the gym, I beat up my body and I be sore by the time I get home and waking up stiff and in pain, but ready to go back and do it again. Like, what is wrong with me?
Yeah. And then it's it's the people too, because then it's like when you see someone that you haven't seen in a while, like we're talking about you blue belts. Like when you see them again, it's like, oh hell yeah, this dude's back, and yeah, welcome back, and like we missed you. Let's see what you can do right now. So yeah, like
Yeah.
there's just like so much support, and like so I don't know if this is like too real or oversharing or anything, but like I'm an ambassador for Submit the Stigma. So like we're trying to combat the stigma of talking about mental health and stuff. And there, like when I was a kid, like I was actually molested as a kid, um, and like I I was so like humiliated, and like I was embarrassed about like how people would like view me. But then I was like, all right, let's like talk some real stuff so that we can like I could be an example of like talking about mental health and like things that are hard to talk about, because too many people have taken their lives because they weren't willing to like talk about it, or they were ashamed to talk about it. And like the response that I had, like from all my jujitsu friends, even like the ones that like that are like meme pages, like there's Jove Kage BJJ on Instagram. He's a meme page, you know, and he sends some support and love, and he's like, yeah man, like thank you so much for talking about this stuff, because like I like people will tell me that like me talking about it shows that they're not alone in like their struggles, the things that like no one should experience, you know. And I'm
Yeah.
not saying that like my shit is like worse than anyone else's, or my situation is better than other people's, but like we're all like dealing with things, and like just being able to support each other, like that's beautiful, you know.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, man. I appreciate you sharing that story, man. Because I can tell how hard it is to even talk about it. But like you said, man, it's something that definitely need to be talked about. I am a huge advocate for mental health because someone who deals with anxiety and depression myself, and like I always say, like jiu-jitsu has saved me from some dark times. I know my situation is not as intense as yours or other people. I had a lady on the show during my first season. Her name is Blue, and she dealt with something similar. And when you think about like that type of stuff, it's like, man, how much courage do you have to have something that's mentally scarring as that, doing a sport where you're put in, like I said, these compromising positions. And she told her story about it, and now she's kicking ass all over the place, and I am like
Hell yeah.
super proud of her for that. So she'll be back on a future episode. But yeah, man,
I'm gonna have to find that episode and I'm gonna listen to it tonight.
yeah, her name is Blue Maze. She like I said, she was the first season. I actually will tell you what episode she was. I think she was like episode 17. I think it was first season. She's
That's OG status right there.
yeah, yeah. So, but Yeah, because this was kind of like one of the main reasons I started this podcast was I hate that I can't remember the name of the page, but it was I was scrolling through on Instagram one day, and it was a video of a lady talking about why she started jujitsu, and she was explaining about her son was I'm sorry if I get the story wrong, but I think her son was killed or something of the sort. So she used it like jujitsu to fight her depression, and she fell in love with the sport, and she's just been hooked ever since. And I was like, man, that is awesome. That is so
Yeah.
awesome here. And just from like the now I'm thinking back at all the other episodes I've had, excuse me, I've had. It was Blue was amazing with her story. Tiana Taylor.
Oh, so she's actually a buddy of mine. Like
Really?
Submit the Stigma puts out like a mental health awareness seminar thing,
Uh-huh.
and she was there with her partner Gareth. So like, and then after
Small
we did the
world.
seminar, we we like exchanged contact information, so like we check in on each other once in a while. So
Hmm.
yeah, like yeah, she's awesome. Like she's been through like some shit,
Man.
and she's tough as hell. Like so I'm not too big on brands, but I know that like is it Hyperfly? It's like you can't teach heart. That's their slogan. She's perfect for that. Like I mean,
Man.
if any Hyperfly people are listening to this and they're not already sponsoring her, like hit her up.
Yeah, please go back and listen to her episode. Her episode was number 21, and when I tell you she told the story about when she got uh locked up for mental, like my jaw was dropped the whole entire time listening to this story.
Right? Like
It
I was
was
listening to that
unbelievable.
too, because like I do my homework and I listened to your previous episode, and like I was like, oh wait, hey, I know her, and like this is something that I didn't know too. Like I mean, like I was listening to it, and then my wife was like you could see a setup here, and like my
Mhm.
wife works from home, and like I make her listen to like jujitsu podcasts and stuff in the background, and and like how crazy is it to like to go through that, and then your partner doesn't have any idea where
Doesn't
you're
have
at.
no idea.
Yeah.
I would have lost my marbles, man.
Yeah, I'd be like driving around and going like, hey, where are you at?
I'm like you just knowing just like okay, I know I saw you this morning. You said you had a doctor's appointment. I'm expecting to see you back at home, and you've been gone for days. Like what? You
Yeah.
had no way of contacting anybody. That was unbelievable.
Yeah.
But man, but that's just the true testament, man. The power of jujitsu, like that was like the only thing on her mind is getting back to jujitsu, and I was so happy and relieved to hear that, like how everything
Yeah.
panned out. It was like a Disney story type deal because it's just like oh everything is going good, and it's just like everything spiral out of control, and then boom, flowers and rainbows at the end.
Yeah. And like as good as jujitsu is, like it's very therapeutic, but like if you pair that with actual therapy, like talking to a trained professional, your mental health is just gonna like skyrocket, and like it
Yeah.
it helped me like so much. So
Yeah, man. I like I said, I am an advocate for mental health. Training through therapy and actually going to talk to somebody because I do all three. I do all three. So I train a lot. I have a close, tight knit bond with the people I train with, and I also go to therapy. And like you said, the combination of the three helps
yeah.
a lot, man. So Yeah, like I said, it's a huge importance. It's a huge thing that I push to the forefront. No matter no matter who I'm talking to, I'm always talking about how mental health is important and how much jujitsu has helped me in that light. And as you see, a lot of people who came on the show saying that jujitsu has helped them mentally. So got to be something in it, man, where people keep going back to it or can't get away from it. But yeah, Jay. So we have a staple here on the Talk Yo Jits podcast. I don't know if you heard these on the more recent episodes, but I make sure I ask everybody this question: your top 3 people, past or present, who would you love to get a role with?
Keanu Reeves.
Yes,
because like he's just like the best celebrity out there. Like, I mean, he gives the majority of all his money and stuff to charities, and he's just like known as being like a super good guy, and and then like he trains like legit, you know.
Yeah.
And we're talking about like out of anyone, right?
Anyone.
Even if they're dead, like, I mean, not like corpses or anything, but like like
I said, like past or present, man, past or present.
I'd probably want to also roll with this is tough. Like, does anyone ever like draw a blank? Like,
yeah, I have a couple people because it's so many people that you can name. You don't want to feel like you left anybody out, but whoever.
Yeah.
No particular order.
Maybe also Ashton Kutcher, just to like see where he's really at and stuff.
Yeah, because I think he's a brown belt now.
I think so. I think he's a brown belt, and like I know that it's like the Higan Machado, and like they have like a program for celebrities because like it makes sense. Like they make money off of like their face and stuff. If they get like a black eye because someone wants to like prove themselves against them, that could like set the production back. But like, yeah, I think it would be cool to roll with Ashton Kutcher, and I'm gonna go with Hodger Gracie because like
there we go.
he's supposed to be the GOAT, right? And like, I don't know. I got nothing to lose. I'm just some purple belt.
And, so much to gain to be choked by someone so legendary.
Yeah, let's see how long it lasts.
I know, right?
Yeah.
But Jay, what's up?
So yeah, off the top of my head, I'm gonna go with those 3.
That's a solid list. Keanu Reeves is definitely on my list to roll with. Obviously, Tom Hardy is another person because I think he just got his purple belt too.
Yeah, I saw that too, and like he actively competes too. So
yeah, so that's what makes it more exciting.
Yeah,
because it's not like you said. It's not like it's not like Keanu or Ashton who they train it. Well, Keanu does it in his movies, but he's still legit. But Tom is out there, just he's getting dirty out there with it.
Yeah. Can you imagine like you sign up for a tournament? You're like, okay, I'm gonna make some friends and stuff, and I'm gonna meet like other people, and then you go against like fucking Bane. Like, yeah.
Because I know his actual name isn't Tom Hardy, but because I know like he goes by his actual name when he competes, but I can't imagine like you standing there and you're like, yeah, I'm about to get ready for a match. Yeah, you turn around, there's Bane standing there, like what? Like, what do you do? Like, do you be starstruck or do you try to like? Because I wouldn't be able to focus on my match.
Yeah.
I don't think I would be able to. Because I'd be like, say a lie.
It's gonna break my back.
I know, right? Like, say it. See, you was adopted by the doctors. Please say it. No, but also just like I've seen some of his videos, his clips of his tournaments, and like I said, he's a savage, man. He gets grimy and gritty out there, and I was like, oh, I would love the opportunity to roll with him. It's nasty. It's ridiculous. But man, but that just shows you his dedication to it, man. Because as being busy as a big star like he is, and still actively training and competing hard like that, man, that's dedication at its finest right there.
Yeah, it's always cool to find out like these celebrities that do jujitsu. It's like it's just like one of us.
I know, right? Because I didn't know this until recently. A friend of mine sent me the video of Barry Bonds getting his blue belt in jiu-jitsu.
Oh yeah. I
like,
saw that
not
too long ago. Yeah. And then
how do you choke a legend?
Yeah, right. But I mean allegedly he's also on that Jesus and acai. Still belongs in the Hall of Fame, though.
I know, right? You can't deny it, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, Jay, unless you got any questions for me, man, I would love to, for you to update the people on what you got coming up for you, yourself, for the school. If you want to shout them out, anybody out, man, the floor is all yours.
Yeah. So I train out of 10th Planet Mission Viejo. We have an open mat at 12:30 on Sundays. Anyone's welcome. Like, just don't be an asshole. I am also going to be competing at Jiu-Jitsu World League on August 19th. So I'm getting ready for that, and I'm pretty pumped for that. And yeah, I'm gonna keep doing jiu-jitsu. I also make some like subpar memes if anyone wants to check that out. So like I have Gambit BJJ. That's my personal one, but then I also have Nogi memes on Instagram. So yeah, let's laugh together.
I know, right? Let's laugh and roll together, man. But yeah, man, I wish you all the best on your tournament. So I would love to hear updates, man. I will, definitely keep in touch with you, see how everything is going, man. And then, down the line, man, we'll love to have you back.
Yeah, that sounds good.
All right, man. And that's the end of today's episode. I would love to thank my guest, Jay, one more time for coming on the show, sharing his tales and experiences with us. Hope you guys enjoyed. Please go and follow our Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube page to stay updated on all future episodes. This has been Talk Yo Jits Podcast. Keep rolling, keep grinding, and remember, long live Jiu-Jitsu. Have a great day.